In the long and decorated history of the United States military, thousands of soldiers have received the nation's highest honor for battlefield courage, the Medal of Honor. Yet, among all those names, generals, foot soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, one stands out for a remarkably unique reason. She was not a battlefield commander. She did not carry a rifle into combat. She did not lead an army charge. Instead, she fought a different battle, one against illness, bureaucracy, sexism, and tradition. Her name was Dr. Mary Edwards Walker, and she remains the first and only woman in U.S. history to receive the Medal of Honor. To understand her story is to understand the complexities of the Civil War, the evolution of women's rights, and the courage required not just to stand on a battlefield, but to stand against the expectations of society itself. Early life and ambition. Mary Edwards Walker was born on November 26, 1832, in Oswego, New York. Her parents, Alva and Vesta Walker, were progressive thinkers, raising their 6 children with an unusual focus on equality and education. Unlike most families of the mid-19th century, the Walkers believed that girls should have the same right to schooling and self-expression as boys. Mary grew up working on the family farm, which taught her strength and independence. She also developed a deep curiosity about the human body. At a time when medicine was considered a male profession, Mary announced her desire to become a physician. This decision alone was revolutionary. In the 1850s, there were fewer than a handful of female doctors in all of America. The idea of a woman practicing medicine was seen as improper, even scandalous. Yet Mary did not care. In 1855, she graduated from Syracuse Medical College, becoming one of the earliest women in the United States to earn a medical degree. She went on to open her own medical practice, but patients often refused to be treated by her because she was a woman wearing what she believed to be practical clothing, trousers under a knee-length dress, which was considered unacceptable and eccentric in her society. But it was not fashion that bothered Mary, it was function. Long dresses dragged in the dirt, spread disease, and hindered movement. She dressed for work, for practicality, and for dignity, not to please expectations. Her clothing, confidence, and profession made her an early symbol of the growing women's rights movement. Answering the call of war. When the American Civil War broke out in 1861, Mary saw her moment to serve. She believed that her country needed doctors, and she was ready to answer. However, when she volunteered to join the Union Army as a surgeon, she was rejected. Military officials told her that women could only serve as nurses or assistants, not as physicians. Once again, Mary refused to accept limitations. She volunteered her medical services without pay, working in temporary field hospitals near battlefields such as Bull Run and Fredericksburg. She dressed in uniform and performed surgeries, dressed wounds, treated disease, and provided tireless relief to wounded soldiers. Finally, her perseverance paid off. In 1863, she was officially appointed as a contract acting assistant surgeon in the Union Army, the first woman to serve as a surgeon for the U.S. military. She was assigned to the 52nd Ohio Infantry Regiment, and unlike many Army doctors who worked in hospitals far from fighting, Mary insisted on working near the front lines. She crossed enemy territory to treat civilians and soldiers alike, earning a reputation for courage, care, and dedication. But this dedication came at a cost. Captured by the Confederacy. In April 1864, while treating wounded civilians in a region controlled by the Confederacy, Mary was captured by Confederate forces. She was accused of being a spy because she often crossed lines and wore military-style clothing. For 4 months, she remained a prisoner of war in horrific conditions. She faced disease, starvation, and humiliation, but she refused to break. She spent much of her imprisonment treating injured fellow prisoners, true to her oath as a doctor. She was eventually released during a formal prisoner exchange, traded for Confederate doctors, a sign of the value both sides recognized in her. Her time as a prisoner only strengthened her resolve. The Medal of Honor. On November 11, 1865, after the war ended, Mary Edwards Walker was awarded the Medal of Honor, given directly under the authority of President Andrew Johnson. Her citation praised her, for valuable services to the government in the field and hospitals during the war, and for having endured hardships as a prisoner of war. Mary Walker became a national symbol, not just of medical courage, but of the evolving role of women in America. But even after she received the medal, her fight was far from over. After the war, a new battle begins. When peace returned to America, Mary dedicated herself to advancing women's rights, particularly the right to vote and the reform of women's clothing. She traveled across the country giving speeches and advocating for equality. She continued wearing trousers, jackets, and top hats, clothing considered scandalous and unladylike in her era. She defended her choices publicly, stating, "I wear this dress because I believe it to be the most comfortable and convenient, and because it is in accordance with my principles." Her activism brought admiration from some and hatred from others. She became a controversial figure, celebrated by feminists, mocked by newspapers, and dismissed by many men in power. But Mary did not care about popular approval. She cared about progress. The medal controversy. In 1917, decades after the Civil War, the U.S. government reviewed the list of Medal of Honor recipients to remove those who had not directly participated in combat. Mary's medal was revoked, along with several hundred others. The government argued that she had not fought on the battlefield as a soldier. Mary was furious. She refused to return the medal and continued to wear it every day, pinned proudly to her coat, until her death. She said simply, "If a soldier earns the medal risking his life on the battlefield, then surely I earned it risking my life on the field of suffering." Her defiance did not go unnoticed. Restoration and legacy. Mary Edwards Walker died on February 21, 1919, at the age of 86, still wearing her Medal of Honor. It took 58 years, but in 1977, President Jimmy Carter reinstated her Medal of Honor, officially recognizing her bravery, service, and historic significance. Today, she remains the first woman to receive the Medal of Honor, the only woman to ever receive it, a pioneer in military medicine, a symbol of women's equality, a hero who fought battles both on the battlefield and in society. Her courage was not only in treating wounds, but in challenging norms, refusing silence, and demanding the dignity she knew she deserved.